Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the Damn Podcast. I'm your host Corey, and joining me again is Nick,
Hello.
Justin.
Wow, what is your cat doing in the background?
I don't know. What's she doing? She just jumping out the window?
It looks like
Oh no.
She's like, I want to escape. No, she likes to grab at the blinds thing.
Oh, mine does that too. Unfortunately, Jamar is in Pennsylvania at the moment. He sent us like a picture of his road trip, so he may. We're telling him you can log on your phone on Discord and join the
he
voice
might think
chat,
it's too much.
there,
I think it's too much of a hassle to do that.
I think he's like currently driving.
Yeah.
That may be a bad idea.
But anyways, that was my cue. That was my complicated way of saying hello. I'm here. In case you didn't get that.
Okay. So, what's everybody been up to so far? It's been a bit since we last recorded. It's been about 3 weeks. But there's not been a lot of news. But there's been some games. I've been playing some Loop Hero a little bit. I took a break from that. I kind of just beat the Lich boss, which was like the first chapter boss, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Because
I've seen that game a bit. It seems really hard.
It's fun, but yeah, it's really hard, and it gets repetitive really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta play like the cards to plan your path and all.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's one of those games that it's fun, but you don't want to play long term or something, or if you're just like a real master at the game. It's not quite like I mean, it's obviously not like Hearthstone, because Hearthstone is just cards. While Loop Hero, you got to use cards to like play.
No, something similar to Hearthstone would be like Slay the Spire, maybe. Like that would be more of a Hearthstone roguelike. Because Slay the Spire is a roguelike card game. But really the card is just kind of like the card aspect of Loop Hero is just kind of an aesthetic choice. It doesn't really mean much. It didn't have to be cards at all. You could have just obtained villages that you drop down. All of the card just pertains to like think of it as like the cards from Chains of Memories or something. Chain of Memories, where you have a village. You have a village on a card, and you place it on a tile, and then now you have a village on the loop you're running, and you can go through the village, and you'll get a quest from the villagers and HP back. It can get pretty bad though. Like I made like a whole circuit of villages that I would go through to heal myself, but at the same time, the quest makes any person active on the map a quest monster, which becomes like a elite monster that becomes stronger, and it's randomized, so they always end up making a quest monster really, really hard. Like the worst monster on the map ends up becoming the quest monster for me because I have terrible luck. But yeah, it's pretty fun though. There's 3 classes that I know of: Rogue, Warrior, Necromancer. I think those are the only 3 right now. I mean, the game just came out, but it's got quite a bit of content. And they're planning to do a lot more, so I'm looking forward to that, and dig into it a little bit more later. But I've been kind of playing Valheim. I think with most other people now at this point, everybody's kind of burnt on Valheim, burnout. We're almost finished, me and my friends. We're like at the last boss, and hopefully we can coordinate a session to beat him and then be done with it.
I noticed that the multiplayer survival games are starting to get a little samey, and they're starting to get
what?
In some
You don't want to play Among Us more?
You don't want to play you don't want to play Rust clone like to the 7th power or something. But yeah, I mean, survival games since like 2014 or something have just been kind of like regurgitated for a while. But I guess what was fun about Valheim for a while is just that you had an objective and stuff to do, and it had kind of like a Shadow of Colossus feel to it, because you had like the monoliths that corresponded to the boss, and then you went and killed the boss, and then you like chained its head to the monolith, and then you gained its powers. But there's just a whole lot of I had this problem of whole lots of open space with not a lot there. It would just be like if the most important bits, they take the most important bits and they just like generate as much land in between them as possible and ocean, and it's just like, why did you need to make the map this big? You could have gone a quarter of the size, and it would have still been a huge map. Like, it's humongous.
Yeah.
But outside of that, what else have I done? I'm playing some Genshin. I'm pretty well burnt out on Genshin. Like, it's getting to the point that I log in, I claim my gems, I like force myself to do my commissions. Like, I'm like, somebody's holding a gun to my head every time I log in to do my commissions. But it's just, it's so boring right now. They really did not plan this content drought.
Have you done any of the dating?
I really don't want to.
Okay.
But
I mean,
there's also the Fall Guys mini games that
I did. It's boring.
I've seen. Are they in yet, or have
They're
they?
all kind of.
And then they did the rhythm game, and I'm like, oh, why? Why did you do a rhythm game?
Yeah, everyone's waiting for like the next continent and all the new characters and stuff, and they're like, oh, how about Fall Guys? And,
what I thought the pattern was gonna be, what I thought the pattern was gonna be is like event patch, like big content, like actual areas like Dragonspire was, or Dragonspine, and then, you know, another event patch, and then another continent or section that they unlock. So that's what everybody thought, and then they ended up just putting 2 events back to back, the Lantern Rite Festival and the Windbloom Festival. And I mean, that's 12 weeks. Yeah, it's every 6 weeks they do a content patch, so that's 12 weeks of no actual new areas to explore. And in a game that's kind of well, in an adventure game, in an adventure RPG, you want to explore shit. Like, I don't want to keep going through the same areas. Even though they're adding new content with these events, it's like fetch quests. It's like, go here, do this, go here, do this, or little mini games. I mean, they're fun for a bit, but I'm gonna have to be doing them for the next couple weeks, so it's gonna get old on like day 3.
I see.
But yeah, so I'm kind of tired of Genshin. I'll try to hang in there until they come out with, I mean, I can't say anything because most of it's leaks probably, but
yeah, those leaks, I don't want to talk about those because even the company is warned, don't spoil those leaks.
I literally heard this morning about what happened to some streamers. That are getting like arrested and stuff like
firing squad.
But like the leaks were.
I mean, if you're in China, it's a big deal for sure.
Like it was like definitely illegal. Like they signed the terms and agreements. Like you're not gonna do this. And they did that.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Like, I can kind of understand, but like still, that's.
I know if you're international, they take you to court over it. From what I've heard. If you're in China, I don't know what they do. I think you actually get arrested.
You just disappear.
I think it actually just they have they have like some connections to the diet or something, and you just like fucking disappear off the face of the map.
What are you in?
They send you to the.
I leaked Genshin Impact.
No, they hire you to the team. You're like the team slave labor for like character models or something. But outside of that, I've been playing. I started up Tyranny, which if you don't know what that is, it's an Obsidian. It's an Obsidian game. Obsidian, the people who did Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity. Tyranny was somehow they got this game out. They squeezed this game out in between Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. This came out in like 2017, 2016. And then they came out with Pillars 2, and then they did Outer Worlds. I don't know. Obsidian somehow has like a really crazy development cycle, or they can get these games out really quick. But
yeah, like didn't they just release the new Outer Worlds
DLC? And they're also developing Grounded at the same time. So I'm wondering like how big that studio actually is, because I always thought they were kind of tiny, but they must be pretty big, or they may have gotten more people once they joined Microsoft, but or Xbox, but. Yeah, Tyranny's fun. If you play Pillars of Eternity, it's kind of a different thing altogether. Like, it plays like you're playing Pillars of Eternity. Like, the gameplay feels about like 100% the same, but the character interactions are very different. The player choices are very different. You're basically working for a more of a tyrant. I mean, yeah, he's basically a tyrant, and you're like conquering like the last free peoples of like the the last free peoples of like the continent, and you're just basically like the hand of the judicial branch, I guess. So you're there to kind of weigh in on like big decisions. You're like, oh, this kind of goes against Kuros's law, you know, or something like that. Or it's like, oh, but it could be interpreted this way, and stuff like that. So you kind of have like your overlord scriptures, and you bring it to battle, and you're like, hey, you know, I think we can solve this without fighting and stuff like that. It's really fun in some situations because it gives you like, you're the bad guy, but you can kind of minimize the amount of bad things you do. But you're still the bad guy at the end of the day. Like there's kind of not really much way around it. I think there's like a way where you're kind of get to a sort of a chaotic neutral status, but for the most part it's an interesting take from a villainous playthrough of conquering nations and stuff. But yeah, good RPG so far.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad Obsidian was able to put it. I don't think I ever saw that. I usually look at.
It went really under the radar.
Yeah, I usually look at the Metacritic releases to see what games come out, but I never saw that at all.
Yeah, it came out of Paradox Interactive, I think, published it. If you're aware of that publisher, they're a pretty small publisher, and it came in between the Pillars of Eternity games, which were pretty popular games, but I think they were mainly popular because they were both kickstarted.
Oh, this explains why. It's because this came out years ago. Okay.
Yeah, it came out like 2016, 2017, okay, I think. So that explains. So it's not new, but it's kind of a game that I think they broke even, but they were hoping it would do more, but it's kind of like an old format. Like the whole top-down RPG Baldur's Gate style is sort of a dying breed, but there's definitely a player base for it. It's just there's if you're not getting the hype you need to get going, like Divinity Original Sin 2 did, then it's not going to take off really, because it's just a small audience. Yeah.
Well, as for what I've been doing, there's a few things, but the majority of what I've been doing has been playing over the last few weeks has been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And you two are Xenoblade Chronicles 2 veterans, so I'm sure you can understand my feelings when I say that yeah, that was a long game. I just finished the main game yesterday.
I think I don't know. Did I put more time into that than I did Witcher 3? I think I did.
I did put more time into it than Witcher 3. I clocked in, even with the leaving the game on for the Merc missions, because I left the game on like all the time while working for like the last few weeks. I clocked in over 180 hours, and I'm sure it's on that game.
I was at like 220 or something, but I think I could have cut it down to probably 180 or 160 if I went through a guide. Somebody told me they did a guide and they saved so much time on getting all the character quests done and all that.
Quests and stuff, because I was not interested in just because the game is very, very bad at telling you what to do at times.
Oh, it's awful. I mean, like, if you just not pay attention and click through one tutorial, you're just gonna be in the dark for so long. And then you're just gonna accidentally stumble upon a mechanic, and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's how you do it."
It's like you'll get to some boss, and then like you need to use overdrive or not. That's from Xenoblade X, but like
you have like the chain element thing where you chain elements together, and then you combine the element orbs.
Chain elements eventually, but yeah,
that's when the combat got really fun though. Is when you like countered elements, and then you built it up, and then you did the overdrive or whatever. And I was like, holy shit, this is actually a fun turn-based combat kind of system.
Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, like, man, the enemies are so tanky. Like,
yeah, if you don't do that, it takes forever.
It takes forever to like kill them, and that extended even to like the all the leveling up no longer makes you as invincible as it did in the first game. If you're like 5 levels higher than the enemy, they just wouldn't be able to hit you.
Yeah.
But in this one, I was fighting against some level 70 opponents while in almost level 80. They had some cheap moves that took off 3,000 damage each time they hit me, and they could hit me. It was like, what the crap is up with this difficulty spike? This was granted they were expansion pass enemies, so maybe that was the point.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
but inversely,
final boss.
Inversely, if you're under leveled in Chronicles, then you would not do very well against the enemy.
Well, I did manage one level 95 guy when I set the difficulty to easy, ganged up on him with three people, and then it still took a little while to beat him. It was like, okay, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you have some very weird gameplay decisions. Anyways, I actually published what my thoughts did on my personal blog. I definitely like the game, but oh my god, the gameplay decisions, like, I felt drained by the time I finished the game. I was like, yes, that was fun. Now do I want to play this ever again? No.
Yeah.
At least not right now. No. I really did want to like get all the rare blades and do their personal quests, but I realized after a while that was just that, especially since like some of the stuff is New Game Plus exclusive. I was like, well, yeah,
play through the whole game again.
Yeah, if I was younger and like we didn't have so many other games that I wanted to play, then that I would. But it's like, no, not doing that again. Especially Rekka's story, I really like. I liked his personal growth. Kind of reminded me of like the good parts about Rekka 7 and all that. But it's like, I don't know if I want to see his character arc again, though. I don't want to see him lose all the time in the beginning and then grow into a really strong person again. I've gotten through that journey once, and like I really liked it, but it's not something I want to see again, or at least not right away. So it was definitely a fun game, but I need a break from the epicness after finishing it. So guess what I picked for my chill game?
What?
Xenoblade Chronicles Torna.
Oh, nice.
I was gonna say, Mori. It's not really chill.
Yeah,
Torna is like the DLC part of it.
Yeah, turns out Torna is actually the game. In addition to being like a short like the prequel, that Torna was also the response to, okay, we heard your complaints. We're gonna actually put the goddamn tutorials in the pause menu so you can read them this time, and we won't make the enemies so tanky this time.
So, it's like cool jazz music for the fights.
So this time it doesn't take me. It only takes me like 10 seconds to beat an enemy on the same level now. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, this is a nice chill game.
Yeah, it's in world's meta explanation too doesn't really make sense because that's like before they really developed the blade fighting like style and like in the prequel.
I'm liking the new gameplay improvements where you actually get to play as the blade this time.
In the prequel game without before the whole establishment of how the blades actually work.
Yeah, well, you know, gameplay made after the first one. It's like, okay, I was like, yes, these are the gameplay improvements I expected from the base game. So, I mean, I do know that you're required to do all this in Torna. You're required to do the side quest to beat the game this time because the game locks you off until you do a number of them. So, but I'll cross that bridge when it comes. I do all the side quests anyway. So, and yeah, and there have been some other things too. But compared to the long journey through Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I think I can just like, no, I don't need to bring that up. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is enough.
Well,
so yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. For what I've been up to, I was able to pretty much finish that Pokemon Xenoverse fan game that I mentioned last time. It wasn't clear when you playing through it for like the first like 90% of the game, but this game is actually a sequel to Gold and Silver. It has like a lot of the characters from those games, but like aged up, and like they have kids, and at one point you even go back to Kanto to battle the last gym leader.
Isn't like your rival in Gold and Silver basically like a mugger?
Yeah, he was. He stole
himself. Yeah, he's the son of Giovanni, even though that was never really clear until.
Wait, what?
Gold and Silver.
Yeah, it must be
in a special
supplementary material or something.
Yeah, it was in like this Celebi DLC.
There's Giovanni a DLC for Gold and Silver?
Oh, well, So there was like a Celebi, I guess I call it a DLC. It was a Celebi event in Heart Gold and Soul Silver where if you download the special Celebi, then there was like a little time travel.
Nah, they wrote that in. That's bullshit.
Cutscene. But that was all it was like Silver was just like you see him running after Giovanni and he's like, oh, I don't like you anymore. You're too weak. And he's like, oh, I need to prove myself to Dad. But so
I know Giovanni never showed up in that game.
But this game is basically like additional sequel to all that crazy story. But it takes place in a new region. There's a new sound type. But otherwise, there's like more forms. They're called Xenoverse forms that are like very like alien looking versions of existing Pokemon. It's kind of just something if you really needing to scratch that Pokemon itch until November or so, because it's also free. Nintendo hasn't taken it down yet.
I'm surprised Game Freak got that out before the other two Pokemon games are coming out. You know,
right, yeah. Game Freak,
I don't know how they squeeze that out.
Oh man, but it's fun. It's has some good characters.
I should show you the cursed Pokemon VR game I found on the Quest.
Pokemon VR.
Oh, it's so cursed. Oh man, it's terrible. It's like actually online multiplayer and in VR, but it's the most cursed thing ever. You see like the funny thing is the 3D models they got in this game were actually really good. Like they're really good 3D Pokemon models, and I don't know how they got them.
You from like the movie or something? Who knows?
No, I mean like game models. Like they got I guess they ripped them from Sword and Shield because the models are way too good.
For like a fan. Yeah.
For a fan game, yeah, it looked like current gen Pokemon game 3D models they had in there. And
I mean, I know like every time there's a new game, people will like do the MMD like dance.
They might have done MMD.
Like, all the trainers and all the new characters, you'll see them.
They might have done MMD. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty awful.
The other thing I was checking up. Oh yeah, I may have to follow up on. The other thing then was I got caught up on Ruby. I got some thoughts on that. So for people that don't really know, it's a Western 3D anime that has four protagonists that fight. There's magic and there's cool weapons. It was originally created by Monty Ohm, who passed away tragically after volume 2 of the series. So there's 8 volumes. And it definitely did feel like with recent Justice League in theaters, it's as if Zack Snyder was like removed. The original producer of the plot and of the characters and everything is like out of the picture, and then the rest of the writers are like, oh well, what do we do now? You can definitely there's a bit of a lull when you get into volume 3 and then volume 4. They switched from Poser to Maya for animating all the characters and everything, and it's also then it feels kind of weird. It doesn't really have the same like weight and action and flow that the first season and the trailers originally had, and like why I was interested in the show. But I kept going because the writers that they did bring on, even though they ended up taking the characters kind of in their own directions and having their own story elements and stuff, they did some really good introspective like character pieces on, and there's a lot of characters. So if there's bound to be like one that you get attached to, and it did get interesting seeing a lot of other kingdoms, a lot of other just powers and abilities, and the scaling evolution of the weapons and the abilities and the magic and the antagonistic force. A lot of backstory, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's the backstory. And it's like, oh no, there's even more backstory, and oh no, there's gods and demons, and it gets really crazy. So I'm up to we're in volume 8. Then now you're on this like sciencey technological floating island place kingdom, and it's still like it was reaching. I want to say that it was reaching some of the original like heights of the first couple seasons. Like the fight scenes were getting back to like being really impressive. The animation, it definitely, at least that's improved a lot. But it's still dropping the ball. It seems. We'll have to see. So I just finished episode 12. I mean, and I think there's 1 or 2 more episodes before this volume ends, and usually at the season finale is where the biggest big fight scenes are. So we'll see how that goes. But it's still going. I guess that's really the only, like, if it was something that you maybe tuned into back in 2015, 2016, and you want to see where the characters are at now, they're still there. They're still fighting.
I got stopped at volume 7. I was getting kind of burnt out.
Volume 7 isn't, or is it volume 8? That was the last season.
I don't know. Wherever
they haven't made a new season in over a year now.
Whenever they fight the big robot, I think was 7. When they fight the robot at the end,
where it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because Rooster Teeth has been going through a lot of bad behind the scenes.
I was not about that season finale. That season finale, I was like, this is awful. I'm gonna take a break.
That's been a big criticism. That one didn't really make sense because it's like they're just trying to like save the world, and it's like all the guys that are supposed to be on their side, there's kind of like bullshit reasons like why they're the antagonists now, and it.
Everybody was depressed that whole season.
Too. Yeah,
they were depressed. I was depressed.
There's been some episodes where the characters are like, "Man, what are we even fighting for? Like, what is our next step?" And it's like, it feels very meta. It's like the writers are like asking this, like they don't know where to take.
So what do we do? We didn't take this far.
Come on, guys! Like, but at the same time, it's like their most profitable animation and a series. I'm pretty sure. So they're like,
I thought Genlock went off to a good foot. Like the first season of Genlock was good.
I saw a review of that. They had some really big name like voice actors and stuff, but it wasn't all that special.
Oh, that was pretty good. I think it was like build up.
The story, the animation and stuff looks cool, but where the story ended up going, maybe they'll make more volumes of Genlock.
But did they not do another one?
Like I said, Rooster Teeth is like, I have no idea what they're doing these days. So.
But yeah, I like the first season of it. So hopefully they do season 2. Definitely better than the Ruby season than Volume 7 at the time. I was like, well, I'd rather watch Genlock than Ruby right now.
Definitely understandable. I went and also saw, against my perhaps better judgment, I saw Raya and the Last Dragon in theaters.
Yeah, some of my friends.
My girlfriend was like, "I want to go do something. I want to go see something in the theaters." It's like, this is the only thing that's left.
I mean, I know you're paying. Well, not really, because I'm interested in seeing that. Some of my female friends want to see that as well. So
yeah,
I'm not sure when we will though. It's like,
I don't want to. Yes, well, at least the theater when I went to see it, I mean, they took all the precautions. There was spacing between the seats.
Yeah.
It was a good experience, pretty safe, but. The story plot, I don't want to spoil it. It's a good, like, the premise is basically like the world of Avatar with these different nations, and they're all like pretty racist. Sorry, towards each other. I mean, sort of, but then it's also like crossed with like a Mad Max world, like the destruction of the continent and stuff, and we have to save the water. Surprisingly, it's actually very like Mad Max, I guess. But. You've seen in the trailers, then the Last Dragon herself. She just like every time she's on the screen, she reminded me of like Elsa from Frozen, and it's just like something with the face, the big, googly eyes.
Are you trying to infer that Disney makes their characters look the same? That's what it sounds like you're inferring right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
How dare you, good sir?
And it's like. Again, you can get this from the trailers. Like, I enjoy.
Well, that would require me to watch the trailers, which I've stayed away from.
Understandable, but yeah, she's just very like to try to appeal to the kids. Like, I get it. Okay, Frozen did great. It made a lot of money, and they're trying to make another Frozen by they got it. But it's like the Last Dragon, or I forgot what her name is. Shisu, I think. It kind of feels she's like Olaf from Frozen a couple of times, not all the time, but it just every Disney movie seems to have like a
comedic relief character. Yeah,
and it's very idiosyncratic in this type of world, this type of story. It could have been a lot more mature, a lot deeper elements, but it does still at the end of the day have some good fight scenes, and the animation's really awesome, music's great. It's not Frozen level, I don't think, but for like a whole new like IP, I suppose, and like idea and the concept and the world building and stuff, really good.
Okay, like
that's pretty much.
what was the last
Yeah.
what was the last new Disney new IP? Because like there's some.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I know like Wreck-It Ralph 2 and like Frozen 2 were like the new big things in the recently. I can't. Oh yeah, it was Moana. Right, it was Moana. Man, Moana was a long time ago. Yeah, like Moana, like man, I still remember Jermaine Clement singing as that giant crab. It's like that's I know, like music in the number, was it completely pointless? Yes. Did anyone care? No, because Jermaine Clement's voice was godly.
Yeah. They need to make Moana 2 starring that guy, the crab, shiny guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've been playing. So another thing we're gonna be getting to then is like, come March 31st at the end of the month, a lot of Mario games they're going away, but also randomly
right.
like Fire Emblem 1, the first one.
The one with Martha.
You can buy it for like $6, I think, on the eShop. I've been playing through the levels. It's very like, oh hey, there's this character, but like the sprites are so bad. The
can't believe they
can't tell like how anything is gonna go. You kind of just like throw your enemies at the other guys and hope that they don't die, and hope no one has like an armor smasher or anything like that. But it's been fun.
How much were they selling the anniversary edition of that? Wasn't it like $80 or something for that stupid?
Very expensive. Yeah. Like you get this art book and you get a falchion, you get the sword. I don't think you actually get the sword, but like.
Okay, it was $50.
Really, really expensive version.
It was $50, but like.
Fan, yeah. I don't know. Maybe
even as a hardcore fan, I would be like, I don't know.
Like, of the original, this is the game that like didn't even come to.
I didn't bother to like do any touch-ups or anything. It's like, oh, we fucked up with Shadow Dragon. We don't want to touch it again. It's like, just don't do Shadow Dragon again. Just make a good remake of the first game.
Supposedly there was like a speed up function, but the only thing I've seen that it speeds up is like this one random bit of text before the battle. Like it doesn't speed up the actual battle. It doesn't speed up like you can't skip the computer, the enemy's turn. It's just like they could have put in other quality of life things, and they just like, oh, we don't want to touch it. We don't want to mess up the nostalgia of the turns.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of in terms of Fire Emblem Special Editions, that one's kind of crap.
But yeah, we got some. You guys are ready? We got some news to jump on into.
Let's go.
So we have some just miscellaneous stuff then to as reading about. So they're starting back on the Super Mario World theme park then that they're building in the States, the one in Orlando. They're thinking opening it maybe 2024. I've heard maybe 2025. The one in Japan seems to be going pretty well. But it's like still, I don't know that this is great. Like, we're coming to the end. I concede. Of course, there's a light at the end of the tunnel with the pandemic being over. But I still feel like, I don't know, talking about like theme parks and bringing other people to Orlando and stuff, or Disney World and stuff, like right now is not the best thing that you want to do. Texas itself is like, Abbott removed the mask mandate and is like opening all businesses to 100% capacity just a couple weeks back. And I was like, oh, is there like some new like news showing that infection rates are down, or that people are like over 50% like immunized or something? It's just like, no, there's no like scientific reason why we're doing this. We just want more money. And like it's getting there. We're eventually gonna reach it, but last I was looking, we're still at like over 3,000 new COVID cases a day. Texas is the 46th slowest state in terms of rolling out the vaccine. Like, there's only 50 states, by the way, for reference, of course. And like I get it. There's a lot of like parts of the big cities, Dallas and Houston and stuff, that it's going to be a challenge to distribute the vaccine, to get it out to a lot of communities and stuff. But I don't think, like, no other really states besides like maybe Alabama, I think, or Mississippi is like also opening up to 100% capacity right now. But Texas, like right after going through all this winter storm and all these people like not being so well off. Now they're like, okay, let's bring back the COVID levels. Like I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully things do improve, but that's where we're at. Even on to even worse news though. So I've been on Twitter for a little bit. I don't know
why?
if I really want to link my Twitter.
Why?
Why did I chat Twitter? Oh, actually, I know. So Nintendo Switch, you can, when you get screenshots and videos, you can share them onto Twitter now, real easy. And I have over 1,000 like screenshots on my Switch, and it's like I need to clear these up. Let me get rid of them. And it's like, oh, I'll just make a Twitter. But then it's like, oh, I can follow Sakurai on Twitter and Taylor Swift on Twitter and all this stuff. And I've just been looking into it. It's still not like really like a public, like I'm not going to be posting like, oh, I'm on the toilet today.
Yeah, yeah. There's a reason I never tell you guys to follow me on my Twitter, because I'm like, I don't want
Right.
you guys to follow me on my Twitter. It's just like, and I don't want to follow, and I don't want to follow you guys either, because I'm like, there is such fucking shit for the most part. Like, if I was like a big content creator, then be a different story. But it's like, it's just for my own private use, and I'm like, I don't want to make that.
And like I've heard some bad stuff about it, but I'm really experiencing it all firsthand now. So I got two main kind of my experience that I'm trying to figure out how to justify it. I guess between these two like sort of facets of Twitter.
Is it in a comment section?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Okay.
It's like, oh gosh, it's almost worse than YouTube comments.
It is worse than YouTube comments.
It's worse.
Actually.
Like, so the first big issue is just like everyone is so horny. Like everyone, there's so many.
Now that I have no problem with, because that's what made Resident Evil 8 Vampire Lady.
It's one-dimensional.
Like, okay, but a big problem is just, so of course Twitter, you have to be 13 to age 13 to sign up. So everyone on there is definitely like over age 13, right? There's no one that's like younger than 13 that's signing up and just like lying about their age, right? No one would do that. But it's just,
no. Corpse Husband has multiple accounts that like that can free to insult people and and get away with it.
I'm sure 13-year-olds are finding much worse stuff than what they're seeing on Twitter.
Oh, that's understandable, but like it's all this, like there is a lot of just sexual stuff just in the comments and the replies and stuff. One thing then I'm going to come back to, so there's a new Space Jam movie coming out, and there's a lot of people on Twitter upset about Lola Bunny's new design. She's not as hot as
to be fair, it's a bad design. It is a bad design.
About Miranda's ass getting censored out of Mass Effect Remastered.
Well, I bet you it's the exact same people, and these are also people that. So Pyra and Mythra, then of course. This is a bad rabbit hole. I'm not going to go too far down, but they came out, of course, for Smash Bros. And people are like, oh, they're too sexual. But then there's other people like posting fan art of them, you know, in bikinis and stuff. But then also the week that they came out, I came out with a mod that increased their the jiggle physics. Then someone else is making nudity mods. And it just that became like super popular.
Pretty sure those were there. Pretty sure those were there, but it's really promoted the. You know, they really like to nurture the modding community at Nintendo.
Right. And it's just like I am almost agreeing with Russia, which is definitely something that I never thought that I would say. But in case you guys don't know, so Russia is planning, supposedly in less than a month now, they're going to ban Twitter in the country because of all the pornography and other stuff like that. It's really because like people are saying bad stuff about Putin. Like everybody knows that's like they're trying to.
There's gay people on Twitter, so they can't have that.
That too. Yeah, they can't have all their citizens knowing that homosexuality like exists.
There's the platform for it. We can't have it here.
But like that's going to be very interesting to see. Like no country. Okay. Yes, countries. Yeah, China actually bans. Oh, yeah, North Korea actually bans. So, but we're gonna see if Russia then also goes ahead and bans the platform. Interestingly, to compare or contrast, I guess Instagram is saying that they're going to be rolling out some new features. Because it's like it's all the sexuality, but it's also with the you got to think of the children. And so Instagram's actually implementing a feature that would prevent adults from like messaging underage, like minors and stuff, or at least it would like pop up a notification to the kids, like because these parents are just like giving their kids like their iPads and stuff, like, oh sure, yeah, have fun, and creepos are messaging them and stuff, and they don't know better. Not that this happens all the time, but it's just ugh. So another like with the Pyra Mythra stuff, the Smash community itself, if you guys were around back last summer, there's just a lot of allegations, a lot of people that were like cut from Evo, that like between the event hosts, the professional players themselves, a lot of stuff with like minors, a lot of just sexual allegations just across the board, and it was just like one was coming out after another with COVID, everyone being in lockdown, and they're like dragging up all these tweets, all these DMs and stuff, and it was not a good time to be in that community. And I'm just I I don't know exactly what to say other than like I feel like that toxicity like with Smash Bros and like with all this, it's not a good look. I don't know how they can recover, but we'll see. Because that leads into, so that's all my first point. My second point is just all the cancel culture itself. But like, can that be a good thing in some ways?
No.
We've seen
answer no.
This past week. I'm getting to it. We've seen Pepe Le Pew get canceled. We've seen Eminem,
maybe
at least people try
to
cancel him.
I don't think Pepe Le Pew's canceled just yet.
To Smash
they,
Bros.
they didn't succeed in canceling Pootie Le Pie.
Like, well, but he did leave Twitter. Yeah. To be fair.
I think most people leave Twitter in there once they grow a certain age.
Like comics.
I mean, yes, he was right to leave Twitter for the record.
Right. Most of those like cartoons were about like how this is bad behavior. Like all the characters like did not like Pepe. Like nobody wanted to be around him. But
like
I can
all the other Looney Tunes.
That people would be uncomfortable. But so basically, he would have been in Space Jam, but people are digging him up, and they're digging up Dr. Seuss. Like literally digging him up, like this guy's been dead for like a long time. They're trying to cancel Eminem because he says like, bad words in his song. Like, oh no.
Oh God.
How dare this rapper like, man say these things on my children's iPod?
What got you in 4K? Okay.
Like you got to be an adult at some point.
Who is this Mr. Slim Shady?
What's he got?
Was he not afraid of?
Spaghetti.
I recently saw people trying to cancel Ninja again because he's like, it's not my responsibility to teach kids about bad behavior. And they're like, fuck you, Ninja.
Norms. But then it's like, so there's a new term that I've heard for this week called stampeding, where there's like stands of, it's a Minecraft speedrunner dream. It's I don't ever want to
Dream.
Again.
I know Dream has been in a few controversies, but I haven't looked into them.
So his stands is like extreme fans are going after other random Twitters. There's this like Nintendo Super Mario Facts Twitter that just like usually just posts like random Mario stuff. Was like, I don't really understand what's all so great about Dream. I like his content or something, but he basically put out a tweet that was like not in 100% support of Dream, this Minecraft YouTuber, and his stan fans started false flagging, reporting all types of like attacks against Super Mario Facts, the Twitter, and like got him banned. But like over 300,000 people were like flagging this account like in a day. And
I mean, when you have that huge of a fan base who are like the only thing in common with them is that they like Dream, you're going to that's going to inevitably happen if you're going to have a few bad people in them who do that kind of shit. Like because like so many people like the guy. It makes sense that a good chunk of them are do not think straight.
Impressionable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. Like I don't like it. I think I see it more as like I don't think it's Dream's fan base in particular that should be singled out. It's just like this good amount of people who just happen to be Dream fans, because when you have a fan base that big, that's inevitable.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is like if there are people like this that spend all day digging up these issues and like trying to cancel people on Twitter.
Yes, there are.
Like,
I have seen. Now, some of them,
right.
a lot of them aren't successful, but there are some who are.
So I'm trying to see, is there a way that these, because in some twisted way, like they feel like they're doing a good deed. They feel like they're trying.
On Twitter, the problem is though, it's on Twitter.
In some way,
nobody gives a shit about.
I mean, for some accounts and some people, it's like, content creation.
If you wanted to cancel someone like who deserves it, it should not be on Twitter.
I'm trying to get at, perhaps.
Like the one, like there is like, I mean, we all know the Bill Cosby stuff, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like there are people that mess up, but like and don't feel any regret. There are like I can't name Weintraub. These like people in very positions of power and that feel like they're invincible, that feel like they can just get away with whatever. So unfortunately in Atlanta this past week there was a shooting, there was this horrible basically domestic terrorist attack, to not mince words about it, against Asian Americans, for a combination of just racism and then COVID is because of everyone that looks Asian, I gotta kill them for one reason or another. It's just so bad. And so there's a Twitter that's come out, Twitter hashtag of Stop Asian Hate. And I feel like this one is like for the social justice warriors, like this is actually a cause. This is like actually something that you guys should be getting behind.
I think the term social justice warrior has like kind of faded out since like last year. Now people just call them Twitter users.
Fair enough. I guess it's like actual, if they want to go back to actually creating justice for social causes, but there is the term of what these people
have. The thing is though, if you really believe in that sort of stuff, go to like donate to charities, go to protests, do that stuff. Don't complain about on Twitter and then just do nothing.
It's the definition of slacktivism.
It's why I'll never identify as a feminist, because I do respect like women's rights and all that, but I don't go to any of their like protests. I haven't donated to any women's charities or anything. It's like,
right. I feel like
I've never put in the effort to do that. What? So I don't deserve to be called a feminist.
The goal is more like equality for both sexes and all, and it does feel like feminism, and especially Twitter feminism, can get quite extreme and attacking men for like existing.
Men only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting.
Oh no!
Remember when that got memed so hard? Yeah.
Oh gosh, this has been Nick's. I promise that we're not going to have, unless there's some other big crazy story, but just like trying to explain Twitter and like maybe the problem with it, if like they can be used for good. Maybe not.
No, like, or at least not by itself. Like Bill Cosby's situation relied on a lot more than just Twitter, you know. Like, and even then, while I do disagree that the media that people shouldn't have drugged Cosby that much, like into some of the situation, because like if it was someone else, like I don't think they would. Well, I guess it depends on the person, but normal people would not get dragged that hard. And I get the big betrayal, because Cosby has been portrayed as such a big loving family man for so long. Of course, there's going to be like that kind of backlash, but it's just like I would not like do it. It relied a lot more. Like, first of all, like you know, I'm sure everyone knows the details by now, but simply short, don't rely on Twitter for that kind of thing.
Yeah, hopefully people, as I mentioned before, like aren't just slacktivists. Like when there really are big issues like racism, police brutality, all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
I
mean,
do something about it.
Bring your
Besides,
support for like something
yeah.
like the hashtag Stop Asian Hate. That's fine. You can support it. But if you really like want to do something, go to any of the protests.
Yeah, I mean TLDR. Just
donate to
if
charities and
it's
stuff.
something, if it's a cause you care about, inform yourself on the issue. Go out to protest, donate to charities, involve yourself in the community, and so on and so forth. But Twitter and honestly any social media site is not a good way to get information
Like,
or join a movement of any sort.
Yeah.
But yes.
So that's been my fun week. A couple of weeks on Twitter.
Yeah.
So some other news, just going around. Infinity Train. I am a big Infinity Train stan. I will destroy anyone on Twitter. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm a big fan of the show. There's been 3 seasons of it so far. It's just a very smart, like kind of like Gravity Falls, but like even more mature in a sense. And so that's why, of course, it was canceled by Cartoon Network. We don't know the exact details around it. It was moved from Cartoon Network to HBO Max. Originally we thought this was the end of it after season 3 because they said it was canceled. But then surprise announcement of a season 4 is going to be coming out April 15th, only on Max streaming. All 10 episodes will be like released on the same day, so that'll be crazy. But the writers themselves have also said that will be the last season as for the time being, and that was not the original intention. This is going to be like some sort of prequel season, but it's just the show has so many mysteries about this train, about the magic and the science and stuff going around. It's got so many mysteries, and it seems like they will not potentially all be answered, but maybe they will be. But I wish we would get more like thoughtful, plot-driven cartoons. Granted, but shows on even Cartoon Network, even on these sort of kids.
That's a hard sell in the West. Very
but that's
hard
the
sell.
thing when they can just make 10 episodes of Gumball, and maybe Gumball isn't the best, but like SpongeBob and shows that like don't really have overarching plot. They don't really have any mysteries.
Episodic seems to work for a lot of audiences, unfortunately here, but.
And I guess because you can't tune into like every episode, but with things going more online, more streaming, you can watch whichever episode that you want. Perhaps maybe
that seems to be why I like the standalone projects by like Netflix and stuff that's not like television broadcasted seem to take off more, like the Castlevania seasons or what's the other one?
Queen's Gambit was on there too.
Queen's Gambit.
But
but yeah, that's live action.
About Netflix in general, or just like
I mean, just like just
kind of shows. Maybe supposed to think more animation shows though.
Yeah, the last animation I remember
funded
was
ones.
That High Rise Invasion anime.
Yeah, High Rise.
Or something like that. I can't remember what that
stuff that's because there's more of a platform when it's not television broadcasted for sure, and you see better numbers, I'm sure. But yeah, it's stuff.
So we'll have to see how that goes. In speedrunning news, this was too funny. So Battle for Bikini Bottom is this like GameCube game. It got remastered recently, but these speedrunners.
I think everybody knows what Battle for Bikini Bottom is. It's classic. It's a classic game.
Oh, that wasn't obvious.
Yeah, I mean, and you didn't play that?
It's a SpongeBob action adventure platforming game that's at the peak echelon of speedrunning.
And of SpongeBob games. It's peak.
I mean, it's a good game.
It's a good game.
Mr. Krabs, my God, what did they do with his voice?
They redubbed him or something?
It sounds nothing like Mr. Krabs.
Oh my God.
But apparently, a new speedrun tech, a new clip has been found. So usually these would be about like, oh, you can get through this wall, or you could go to this level early, or with a new combo move or something. This one is where you put ketchup on the CD to like it causes it to lag out, and it causes you to like you can walk through this wall or something that was found by like this guy that originally was just like handling the disc with like really grimy like Cheeto fingers or something, but then he was like, "Oh wait, I can actually like glitch out the game. Let me try like messing this up even further." And so it was a big is pretty much just like a meme. Like the community decided like, no, we don't actually want to ruin like 18-year-old like original copies. Like these games like weren't ever reprinted and stuff.
Oh, the PS2 or the PS2 or GameCube original, not the remake. Okay.
Yes,
Because
yes. The
I was
remake
like,
doesn't have as many speedrunning techniques as far as I know. There was a
because you couldn't
Battle for
even do
Bikini
that
Bottom
because
Rehydra came out.
the way discs work now is they install from the disc and it's built and it's on your hard drive, so
Right.
it wouldn't.
That one
There's no
does not
way.
have this. It doesn't have. It's only
Yeah.
these older versions
Okay.
that were able to be glitched in this
Yeah.
manner. And there's been like other times where you use external hardware. There's this one game where people were putting their Dreamcasts, I want to say, or something, on a hot plate to like mess up some other code that allowed them to like speed run faster. And it's like, sure, you could technically beat the game, but you're like breaking your copy of the disc and you may not ever be able to play it again. Like, is it worth it? And so the community speedrunning chapel like society has judged that like, no, we don't actually want to do this. It's just not healthy. It's not like worth it to shave a couple seconds off by destroying the copy of the game. But it's funny because it was like there were some people like seriously questioning like, oh man, is this the way to get the world record? Like, is this do we have to put ketchup on all of our CDs? But that's not quite gonna happen. So my last hot take. Then I've been following up with the Pokemon news. So of course, last time there was the new trailers for we got Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then also Arceus Legends Back in Time sort of open world game that has really bad frame rate. Um, a week after those trailers came out, this Twitter user Millennium Loops, created a basically like 1,000 times better trailer for Diamond and Pearl remakes, just like in Photoshop and in like on his own. That like it's got everything and it's in 3D. It's like got all this lighting, all this technology that's like it would be possible on the Switch. It has like following Pokemon Return. It has like Mega Evolution, all this stuff, and it's like the internet was like, oh my gosh, this is what we wanted. The SpongeBob, like, oh that's what we wanted this whole time, and like, it probably nothing is going to come of it. But it's just why did Game Freak have to make the chibi style? Like no one was really asking for that. Like you see like the reaction compilation videos of like all these like people watching Game Freak's like official redesign game, and they're like, oh, chibi, like why? So we'll see. It's not. We mentioned before. It's like not technically Game Freak that's handling this. It's the ICLA company that's working on this. That they worked on Pokemon Bank. Turns out, these guys. I have full confidence in them though because they also developed the Domino's with Hatsune Miku
Hatsune
pizza
Miku.
delivery app back in 2009 or whenever. That was ICLA. People have been like trying to dig into this company. Like, what are they known for? What have they done before besides the Pokemon Bank interface or whatever, or Pokemon Home? I mean, not Pokemon Bank. And this is something that it turns out they actually did, or maybe it's not the same developers or anything, but that was they also made the like discontinued app where you can order Domino's pizza and like Hatsune Miku will like
Classic.
dance on the pizza or something.
I
So
mean,
I have full
I don't think they'll top that anytime soon.
That was the peak of apps, but that's
Cool.
pretty much all the extra news I got.
Thanks for that, Nick. That was a bunch of good facts, good facts and news in a relatively dry month.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see dry, all you gotta do is the anime news. Like the only anime news we've had are just like, hey, this is just a bunch of announcements. That's about it. Yay, Hataraku Mouse-sama season 2, which everyone has been looking forward to, is coming.
Who's been looking forward to that?
Everyone. Yeah, it turns out Hataraku Mouse-sama is so well beloved these days. It's like
Why? What?
I don't know. Like when it first
Isn't
came
it
out,
like the? Isn't it like
when it
a
first came
DxD
out,
knockoff?
the what knockoff?
Isn't it like a DxD knockoff? They're just like.
No, because it doesn't have much fan. Well, it does have fan service, but
I
it's
thought it was like a mainly fan service show.
I think you're talking about a different.
Oh,
show.
actually, I think I am. You're talking about the one that's kind of like the Victorian kind of one.
I'm talking about the one with the guy about the demon who works at McDonald's.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. I didn't remember the. Yeah, that one's definitely a fan favorite. I don't remember the Japanese name at all.
Yeah. I probably should have said Devil's a Part-Timer because I think more people remember that one these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devil's a Part-Timer. Everyone, were you talking about that demon how not to summon a demon lord or something? The one with the that fan service show.
I think so. I think that's what I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of was kind of around this time frame, though. Actually.
Yeah, that one was popular too, but it's nowhere near the.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of an ecchi, for sure.
Yeah, because I've seen like when I go to the bookstore, I see the How Not to Summon a Demon Lord like manga, or whatever, like stacked on there. It's like I think there was almost as many as Demon Slayer manga volumes, but I digress. But yeah, people are excited to see Devil's a Part-Timer, even though they did change the animation style a bit from what we see in the promos. Cool. But yeah, people are excited to see more of. Mao, I'm pretty sure that was his name. Whatever the main protagonist's name is, working at McDonald's, and just
WcDonald's, I think.
Yeah, WcDonald's. But who the fuck is anyone kidding? It's McDonald's.
Can't say that. Can't say that.
I know. Then McDonald's will never sponsor us. How what a crime! What a loss!
With that bad reputation from. Double the Part-Timer.
Like KFC that gets like the Genshin Impact sponsorship
anymore. No, we'll live. Okay, we'll live. Yeah, and also we got the movies for Demon Slayer and Violet Evergarden coming to the US soon. Violet Evergarden will be at the end of March, which me and a few friends are going to go see, and Demon Slayer, which I'll think about it. I mean, a lot of people are going to see that, but there's also the digital release, which will be in 3 months. So it's like might be safer to do that. I'll definitely schedule something for the digital release when it comes out. But obviously, I am not going to schedule anything physical for Demon Slayer movie because people will come. And oh my god, like everyone is just outside now these days. Like I went to I just went to walk in the park a few hours ago. Oh my god, all the kids, all the parents are playing their sports, and I was like, well, there we go.
I passed Greenville Avenue, and like all the bars were packed like the other night.
Mm-hmm. People making up for lost time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like I have my shot scheduled, I believe, for this Thursday coming up, and it's like, okay, yes, if you have both shots or the one shot, like it's totally safe to go out and hug and kiss and do whatever.
You're also going to be loopy for after the second shot, so but like, those side effects.
Right, it's side effects though. You gotta get through them. But like, I still feel you should still be safe because you don't know, like, unless everyone has their card.
I just scheduled yours, by the way. Did you get?
Mine was with my work. It was this voluntary thing that was like. I really didn't think I was going to get it. I was actually pretty surprised because I don't really fall into any of the categories.
They do like a raffle?
Like at-risk person. It was basically...
Vaccine raffle?
Yeah. They got everyone... There's a lot of like older people at my work too, so they must have got all of them already. But I got to drive all the way to Arlington though. So it's like over an hour drive for me to like... It's at this like firehouse or fire station.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't bothered to like look into getting the vaccine because I don't feel like I the only way I'd really qualify is like just doing like volunteer hours at the moment. Well, everyone else is more suitable.
I'm not too crazy about the volunteer hours either.
Unfortunately, the volunteer hours at the moment are a little inconvenient for me, so I haven't gone and done it. I did try like a little while ago, but the weather kind of canceled that. Yeah,
I'll let the less fortunate get it first.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I have had no problems so far. So it's like even when I've gone to crowded bars too, for the record, and it's like I did have to drink a lot of vitamin C, and I did get a sore throat.
Yeah,
I did get a throat infection, but I did not get COVID. So
yeah, I would definitely like rather have someone else that was like frontline worker, and hopefully like healthcare workers and everyone.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
But like they pulled my number and it's like, yeah, if you don't go, you're not gonna get it.
There's no way I'm scheduling. I'm actually scheduling on the app meetup for the Demon Slayer theatrical release.
Right, we should maybe I think we're still gonna wait a couple months. I mean, Andrew will have the final say of whenever we're having in person, and it may be like limited to like 10 people or so.
I mean, people will make their own judgment regarding that. If they, I mean, I'm going to see Violet Evergarden with some people, so it's like, but there's of course Demon Slayer. It's like it and Jujutsu Kaisen at the moment. That those are just gonna make bank so it's like it's gonna be really crowded. And now that people are a little more lax, it's just like, no,
probably do pretty good.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
In lesser news, season 1 of the live-action Cowboy Bebop TV series from Netflix has finished filming.
Ooh.
And I didn't realize that was still a thing.
I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I randomly heard about that.
Why don't they just continue Firefly instead?
I do. Oh man,
because Serenity exists. And also, Joss Whedon has been like in so much like issues lately. Like I don't know.
That's true.
If he'll be a return, like I mean that god awful job he did with the Justice League movie.
Yeah,
that was the final nail in the coffin to his legacy.
Like apparently the Snyder Cut is good, but it's
we'll talk
I've heard it's good.
I'm gonna talk about Snyder Cut in like probably the next episode because I've got plans for that. But a few other things. This one you guys probably already know now because it's been out for so long. But Anime Expo is canceled again, and so is like every other convention. And judging by the number of people going outside these days, I can kind of see why. Because there is no way I am risking that. So yeah, man, it's gonna take a while, but. Hopefully, like maybe Anime Frontier will do something since that's really late this year. But for the foreseeable future, no conventions. And if you saw the reaction to Anime Dallas like a few months ago, you would stay away from them too.
Well, there's always online conventions.
Yeah.
There's like online.
Wait, no, like the
I don't know which ones, but I know there's a few.
Crunchyroll Expo would be virtual again. It was such a I don't care reaction. Like nobody even acknowledged that announcement. They were like, okay, whatever.
I forgot what it was. Like I think it's the Ace Attorney online concert is coming up soon. I randomly heard from like some random other YouTube video that was talking about something else, but it's like in English or in dollars conversion, it's like $42 to attend the Super Bowl or whatever.
I mean, I like it. I mean, Ace Attorney music is decent, but I would not pay that much money to go listen to it.
I mean, I wouldn't pay that money for an online concert in general.
Oh yeah, because you could just watch it on YouTube. Anyways, that's what.
I feel like it's gonna be re-uploaded, perhaps. Well, copyright, who knows? But that's like a lot for.
I mean, there's the Miku concert in June 1st. Which is free. That was kickstarted, so it's gonna be free.
Oh, nice.
Because they didn't actually get to do Miku Expo in the United States, so they still wanted to do it. It will be online free.
Yeah, and last news. This one is actually somewhat intriguing. The new the final rebuild Evangelion movie got released in Japan and. It actually was decently popular. People wanted to go see it.
No, Evangelion?
No. After so long since the last film, I thought people would have forgotten about it.
I think you can just put Evangelion in front of anything, people will go to it.
Really? I mean, Evangelion is still.
On the buses
it's still a revolution. It's still like regarded as a revolutionary anime series and all that. But
it's a boomer anime, but at this point, it's like.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that Evangelion did change the face of modern anime forever. So like it's like a lot of like it contributed hugely to anime's evolution.
That's something.
So,
that's something a boomer would say.
But it's true though.
It's possibly. But yeah, I mean, like, when I was in Japan, when I was in Tokyo, I still saw like a lot of like Evangelion apparel and like drinks and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not like they don't. It's not like it's still not popular. Yeah, and I'm sure they do more promos. I'm sure they do like promos one after another there, unlike here where it's hard to even get it freaking licensed.
I didn't pay attention to anything besides that so I can keep everything else as a surprise. But yeah, it does seem like people want to go see this film. So yeah, cool. Well, look, that's neat at least. Although of course Demon Slayer just like laughs at it, going ha 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 ha, you will never catch up to me, Hideaki Anno, and a guy who directed FLCL. But yeah, we'll see what that happens when it gets a more international release, I guess. But yeah, and that's pretty much, yeah, like I said, that's pretty much all the anime news. That's like just announcements and such like that. It's like, well, I guess what everyone's just looking forward. I guess the other thing is that there is a new My Hero Academia trailer out now for the new season, and it's definitely got some people excited. Of course, you're gonna have to get to the recap episode that's at the beginning of every season of Hero Academia first. But after that, yay, more Hero Academia in a few weeks. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy, everyone.
Back to school again.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I mean, the animation, Hero Academia's animation will still be good. From what I've
Studio seen, Bones.
Yeah.
The festival arc, I hope it's just more.
Bones, right?
I enjoyed the festival arc, but it's just like
arc had a really good concert scene ending. But yeah. Here, there were like some animation issues with the season 4, which
I mean, Gentle Criminal is so hard to animate. I mean, you give them a break, you know.
Use all the budget.
Yeah,
it's a rough scene.
Okay, yeah. Season 4 was maybe a little overrated by the fan base, but you know what? Everyone still wants to watch more Hero Academia. They don't want it to go. They don't want it to like. They don't want it to just ignore it like we are doing currently with Promise Neverland. So yeah, because now that's how you burn a bridge. Yeah, but we'll talk more about that when the show ends. So,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yes, because but I will say yes. With episode 10, I think the latest episode, Promise Neverland, has officially like killed everyone. Aside from the people who are still sticking with it, anyone who was like maybe this isn't so bad, a lot of people's hopes were officially sunk by episode 10.
Right. Well,
I haven't seen that one yet. Can't wait.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to the video game news.
All right.
What do we have? Oh, right.
Jamar, do you want to take us off here?
Yes. He posted a picture of like a car in Pennsylvania that had like all of these.
We should have just like
stickers.
We should have just put like.
Right. Yeah, actually, I went to like an anime that one. I forget what the anime pop or something in our area, and there was this guy who had a waifu car, and he had 18+ waifus on there as well, and I was like, oh wow, I recognize that waifu, and that one, and that one. I read a lot. I read a lot of hentai, guys.
Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? And it's like, no, officer. It's like, I love that show so much.
Yeah, yes, that 6-digit number. That is good. That is good sauce. All right, so
yeah, Nick, you want to tell us about how Mario's dead and we killed him?
I don't really want to, but like basically for everyone out of the know, Mario 35th anniversary, all that stuff was going away. It's too much fun, and Nintendo says you can't have fun anymore.
So you have to beat all 3 games by the 31st, or it's gone from your purchase history. You can't play it anymore. The actual physical copy is set to erase all the data by the 31st as well.
It mails itself back to Japan.
Actually,
never to be seen back in the Disney Vault, Nintendo Vault. And it's just like I still don't understand. I've been trying to understand it. Like, okay, it's a limited thing to make it sound more special. Also, sorry if you hear police sirens in the background. It's Nintendo. They're about to
Yeah,
get
they're
me.
coming for the
But like,
Mario game.
but it's like they Nintendo, like, fans have been asking for like the Mario games to be re-released for a long time on Switch, and the Zelda games too to be coming out for Switch. But we're only getting Skyward Sword, and
And
it's
you'll
like,
like it.
and I guess so.
You better
And
like
then
it
like
too.
they're like, and it's only going to be until this day. Then you won't be able to buy it anymore. And all that means is it's just going to go on like eBay for like 100% markup or more.
Yeah,
And
Nintendo trying to disguise the fact that they can't compete with emulators. That's why they.
it seems like it is, yeah. And Nintendo has a history of like just game preservation and game like historical documentation. Maybe it's not the most important thing in the world where we have like pandemics and stuff to worry about, but it's still like for art form of video game preserving it and being able to play it, have ways to access it and stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's sad that
All
they're doing
right.
this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered how much we hate that decision.
they're also not going to be if you have a 3DS anymore. They ran out of parts to repair them, so hopefully don't bring it because you won't be able to like send it
I don't
back
know many
into
people that were sending them in anyway.
Yeah. Time to look into 3DS emulators if my 3DS ever breaks.
Not surprised they're saying they're out of Joy-Con parts.
I actually have a 3DS emulator. I forgot. Never mind.
Oh, we're out of Joy-Con parts. We can't fix your drift, which isn't happening, by the way.
Oh man, that's gonna happen. That's so bad. Yeah. Hopefully with the Switch Pro, they're gonna.
I feel like they just if you send them in, they just give you a new pair of controllers that are the same color. Oh, we didn't see anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
They're working just fine.
Cool.
But yeah.
Another like very specific I can mention. So there's like Smash Bros. There's Mii costumes from Smash Bros. For Wii U, and all of them have been added back except for one. That's Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. People were really thinking like because it's a Bandai Namco character, and when Pyra came out, like that would have been the perfect time to include this guy. He uses two swords. Pyramith are two swords, but they didn't. And so people are trying to guess like there's two more Smash Bros. Characters. They're trying to use logic and stuff with Nintendo, which is their first mistake. But like to figure out who the last characters are, and because this guy it has not been added back, they're like, oh, maybe he'll be.
I think you're on to something with it being a sword hero, though.
Yeah,
I think you're on to something.
Yeah, the anime swordsman. That is.
I think you might be onto something there.
So it's likely around the summer, coming up around E3 time, will be when we hear whoever is going to be the next announcement. I don't think it's actually going to be Lloyd, but I've been wrong before.
Probably not. Oh well, we shall see. We shall see. I still need to actually play as Sephiroth and Pyra and Mithra. I have not beaten their one player modes. Well, Pyra and Mithra, I was holding off until I actually beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because I was like, I have no idea who these two are besides what I've heard offhand.
Yeah, don't go to the spirits board for Mithra until you beat. I think you have beaten Xenoblade 2, but don't.
Yes.
Don't do that.
And that's true for every single character in Smash, though. There are always spoilers. Remember the Zelda Sheik thing?
But like this, Sakurai.
I mean, come on.
For, like, spoiling Xenoblade games in his games, but who knows?
More like saving you time. I don't know why you're getting upset.
It saves you 180 hours. Yeah. Thanks, Sakurai.
Doing you a solid.
Yeah.
It doesn't like really give the context around what you're looking at, but
yeah, sure. Like when I first saw that trailer, I had forgotten any of the party members aside from Nia, but that was because I knew who Nia was because I played 10 minutes of the first Xenoblade Chronicles 2 back when it first came out. But I didn't even remember who the other party members were until I watched the Smash trailer again while playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember this lady. Oh yeah, she's gonna be a party member.
Oh, I remember Zeke. I kept him in the back.
Yeah, because Zeke doesn't get strong until New Game Plus, unfortunately.
It's not that good.
Secretly, I like Zeke and Pandoria. I know they're not.
I know. I like them. I like them, but they're not.
Morag's just.
They lag behind until you unlock Zeke's second affinity chart. After that, he just becomes super overpowered.
Yeah, Morag's pretty OP in the first playthrough.
Yeah.
Just dodge tank.
She's female Dunban.
Yeah, she just dodges everything. It's great.
Of course she does. Too bad she doesn't. Of course she doesn't have her own of course, her version of naked Dunban is clothed Morag because she never takes off that hat or anything, or really anything, even when wearing a swimsuit.
Yeah.
You should play Xenoblade, I think, is what we're saying, perhaps in a roundabout way.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So did you hear about the Switch Pro rumors from some
the Switch XL
at Bloomberg?
The new Switch XL.
The new Switch.
New Switch XL.
I'm still waiting for the actual product to be released before I.
45% more screen.
Yeah, because like leaks and stuff, they are mixed bag.
Yeah, but it's Bloomberg.
Bloomberg, I don't really care about. So.
It does seem like they're just like their guesses are just like logical. Oh, it'll have a bigger display.
I mean, I don't think it's, even if it is a rumor, I cannot see it. I cannot see them releasing a new Switch without a bigger screen, personally. If they're gonna do one, if they're gonna do a new one that's not a Switch Lite or anything like that, I think there's gonna be a bigger screen. Because they also kind of want to sell it to people who don't care about the hardware. And I think people at face value will see a bigger screen and they'll be like, I want the bigger screen.
It's work for Apple.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you don't really care what's under the hood, but on the surface, if the screen's bigger, you're going to be like, oh, I mean, there's more room for me to play. I want that. So that way they can sell to like both fan bases at once, you know, the hardcore Switch gamer fans, and then the people who just like the Switch to play on the go, want the more screen, the more surface area. But yeah, I don't know, I can see it. I can definitely see that. You want me to talk about the Genshin updates, or do you want to talk about them?
I mean,
we kind of already beat them up a little bit. We
already did that at the start, so it's like
I didn't talk about the Wonderland they did. They did like another variant of the Abyss. They did like a variant of the Abyss, which is like a Wonderland, and you do like these kind of like Mario Party style mini games that it just like randomizes that flicker through. And after you do 3 of them, if you get enough points in all 3, you get buffs to your characters to fight the boss at the end. And you have to do that like 5 times to get all the tickets out of it. It's like a 2-hour commitment if you wanted to do it all in one day. So very fun, very enriching experience. We talked about the rhythm game. We talked about the falling game. There's an archery challenge. There's a Lynx crossbow training. I think I was mainly there's like the similar quests that they give you for people, like tasks for the event. And then there's the KFC daily login rewards, basically all it is. They give you some like KFC oriented cooking recipes. Yeah, I think there's a KFC glider too. They're gonna give out too, right?
Oh yeah. KFC.
Any word how we're gonna get that? I don't know.
No, I'm not 100% sure yet. I've heard there's been enough outrage from the North American player base or from the Western player base, I should say, that they're gonna give it to us, but I don't know how. I'm not sure yet. Maybe there's another section of the event. And then we all kind of, Justin, I don't think you tuned into the Square Enix Presents. I watched a bit of it, like bits and pieces. But,
yeah, I only learned about some of the stuff secondhand through like other people reporting on it.
I know. A few people in my friend group are looking forward to Outriders still. I'm not too crazy about it because they have that weird ass 3-player co-op, which is like, that's such an odd number. 3 is like the oddest number in the number system, in my opinion. You know, you gotta have a good 4. You gotta have a good 4 players. I don't know why it's 3, but yeah. So if you have exactly 2 other friends, this would be a really good game. It's similar. It's kind of a loot shooter similar to Destiny, but it's kind of like got a good. I think it's got a good story. From what I've heard, I haven't really played it much, but there's like 4 different classes. Yeah, it looks interesting. Out of the new IPs I saw there, it looks interesting. There's a new. Apparently, they're developing a new Tomb Raider. I didn't know that, but I guess they're developing a new Tomb Raider, which I imagine is. Let me check actually. I didn't actually check who was developing it. I was assuming it would be Eidos Montreal, which is the team that does the Deus Ex games. But oh no, it won't be getting a new game. It's like a trilogy.
Tomb Raider collection.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because that makes more sense because I knew they were. I had the idea that they were done with Tomb Raider for now, at least. So I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what Eidos Montreal is doing now. Hopefully, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided Part 2, but yeah, because Crystal Dynamics is still working on the Marvel Avengers game. Very successful.
Oh boy. It's got Hawkeye now.
I don't know. Every time I see that game, I'm like, man, I just like Spider-Man so much better.
They announced they'll be getting a Black Panther expansion later, and more graphics and more.
I'll get it once they like the price goes down. Yeah. I'll probably get it if I see it for like $20 or something, but I don't know. It's not a $60 game for me. But yeah.
I heard not great things about it.
I heard the story was good. The single player campaign was good, but the online kind of like you could tell it detracted or it kind of like took from the experience that they cut development time on the single player campaigns that can make that online implementation. Which people weren't really interested in at all. They just wanted to play Avengers. It's like, I just want the campaign. Why did you put this crap? New Life is Strange game. Nick, do you want to talk about that?
Like, I was a fan of the first Life is Strange. The second one didn't really hook me all that much.
Yeah, I liked the first Life is Strange, but it had some issues, which is why, and then it got compounded on with the pseudo prequel to it.
Before the Storm.
Before the Storm also wasn't all that.
Yeah, Before the Storm wasn't great.
Yeah. So this is a new.
Okay, so.
Sorry. So this is a new. There's a third one then. Spoilers, I guess. So in the first game, you have like time travel-y powers. The second one, the character can like have like a telekinesis thing. And this one is your character has like empath powers, or she can like, if someone is sad, then she is sad. And like I'm sure they'll be creative. These guys with the team have been creative, but it's not being developed by Don't Nod.
No, it's not. It's some different studio.
Just similar Square Enix.
I've never actually heard of that studio. Let me check.
Like the graphics and stuff looked really good. It's in some, I don't know. They all seem to take place in like Seattle, like just a country nature part, and that looked nice at least. They also announced remasters of the first Life is Strange and then that Before the Storm, sort of side story, but that one, so you play as Chloe in that one, and her power is like arguing with battle or something. That one is just
so it's the same studio that did Before the Storm, apparently.
Oh boy.
And like, before, from what I can see, before They it's called Deck Nine is the studio, and before Deck Nine they were called Idle Minds, and what they were known for as that studio were Madagascar 2, Ratchet and Clank Collection, so they were the porting studio for that, which was, I think, was pretty solid from what I played. I played a couple of games out of it. Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked. That did not come out in 2013, that's bullshit. It must have remastered in 2013. I don't believe that. That was like 2008. At any rate, 2005. I was way off. At any rate, yeah, kind of a toss up there. I don't know. Well, Don't Nod's working on those other 2 point-and-click adventure games, right? Or at least another point-and-click adventure, from what I saw. Well, you don't call those point-and-click adventures. I should say walking simulator adventures.
Yeah, there's not much gameplay. It's like an interactive story, and I don't know, the premise, like the first one, I like time travel and warping and cool psychic powers and stuff, but then it's like more like, no, we just want to tell a character story. We just,
yeah,
all the psychic stuff, it's the cool stuff is like second to the plot. This one is like your brother died, and you gotta figure out, as a mystery, like how did he die? And it's like, I don't know, that's interesting, but that's not the cool. The people don't play video games for like murder mysteries. Maybe they do, but
some people do. Yeah,
you could have like powers and like flying and shooting emotion lasers or something. I don't know. It's
motion lasers. It's like,
it's
my
just
depression
like,
laser. You'll never want to commit crimes again.
Something. They just, like, it could be cool. Maybe that they want to tell more grounded stories. Like, I get that, but I hope that they are creative in some ways.
Outside of that, we had Balan Wonderworld, which is by the creator of Knights for the Dreamcast. So if you're a big Knights fan, I know there's a lot of you out there. And this is the game for you. You've been waiting so long for this. It actually looks pretty. It looks pretty interesting. I like the world they built around it, and I think the gameplay looks really really fun. So I am interested. I think it's $60 a bit steep for it, but I'll get it at some point. I'm pretty curious.
I think there's like some demos of it. I would recommend playing those first, before anyone that's a fan would
yeah
pay full price, because it's, from the demo review I saw, it's not that fun to play. It looks nice, but
yeah.
it's
you had to play the demo.
Yeah, check that out first.
Forspoken, that looked pretty cool. I liked the look of that. It was like that fantasy magic. It looked like an open world RPG. That was like fantasy magic in a Western style. Actually, I gotta check who's developing that.
It had a different title. First Project Acer Project.
Oh, so yeah, they showed this at E3 a while back, and I didn't recognize that they actually gave it a name. Okay, so I have seen this game
they just
before.
Came up with some other name that doesn't make all that much sense, but this is that.
Because before it was Project Athia, and what studio is this? Oh, okay. So this is the studio that was formed out of the Final Fantasy 15 team that was disbanded.
You're talking about like the Square Enix's new game or something else?
Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
The one that came out.
I know the Final Fantasy 15 people are working on some new RPG.
Well, they had
I don't know if it's RPG.
They had a couple.
Well, maybe not, but I'm working on some new game.
Well, Final Fantasy 16 is in development, and the creative director from 15 is on it, along with the creative director from Final Fantasy 14. I believe they're working on it together. But Luminous Productions, I'm pretty positive, was one of the divisions working on 15, and they formed into a separate studio within Square Enix. So I think they're still under Square Enix, but they're just like a separate studio. You know how like Nintendo has their like different divisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this would be their first title as a new studio, I guess, technically. Or a new developer studio. So that'd be interesting. And you know, I mean, if you liked 15, this might be a thing to look out for, keep on your radar. I did not like 15. Yeah, but I will still probably keep it on my radar because it looks much more interesting. At least gameplay wise. But that is a conversation for another day. Loop Hero sold 500,000 copies. I just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I bought.
That's crazy.
I bought the game myself, so.
I thought that was pretty crazy. It's like everybody's on this like indie binge right now, where they're looking for the next big indie to pick up. Right after Valheim, Loop Hero came out, and people were like, "Oh shit, Loop Hero! Well, that's pretty fun."
Yeah, there are some video game hype waves that I find like.
Yeah, here and there it comes and goes.
I mean, to be fair, I did buy Loop Hero because of the hype as well. Whether or not I'll play it or not.
And it was only like $12, so you're like,
yeah,
whatever.
That was cheap too.
Yeah, I mean, I can like, I don't have to get the quarter pounder combo today. I can just get Loop Hero. But yeah, I mean that's pretty cool for a indie studio just have a smash hit like that. And like initially my first impression was like, this game looks like shit. And then I played it and I'm like, oh, all right. I mean, like graphically, texture wise, there's not a lot there. There's not a whole lot of assets or anything. It's very minimal pixel art kind of stuff, and a lot of like monsters are redone over and over as you go through the loops, but they did it in a way that makes it work, and I think that's why it took so well. Game Pass is beefing up. They not only, I mean, you all know that they absorbed Bethesda. We've talked about that before. The Bethesda's under Xbox now, and they're finally getting Bethesda games on Game Pass. The first wave of Bethesda games came up. Off the top of my head, I know the Arcane games are all there. Prey, Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2. What other games are on there? There's the ID Software games. So you have Doom. You have Doom Eternal. You have the Wolfenstein games. They're on there. So I mean, pretty much all the recent, of course, Skyrim's on there. Oh, boy. Skyrim Special Edition is on there. So get all the Skyrim DLC. They have Morrowind on there. They have Oblivion on there. They have, I think, ESO is maybe on there. Fallout 76 is on there, so ESO might be on there. But yeah, so that partnership with Bethesda brought a lot of new games to Game Pass, and I want to say it actually caused them to delay getting the EA Play games on there. I think that new partnership kind of pushed that back on the to-do list because EA Play has been pushed back for a while now. EA Play is EA's subscription service, kind of similar to Game Pass, where you subscribe to EA for like, I think $9.99 or $5. I think it's cheaper. I think it's like $4.99 or $5.99 a month, and you get access to EA's catalog of games as a service. And they formed a partnership with Xbox, so most of the EA Play games are going to come over to Game Pass, but that's been getting delayed over and over, so I don't know when that's coming or not. Hopefully it still does, because Game Pass just honestly is becoming a real value. I mean, if it hasn't been for you already, then it's got so much stuff, and it's like $9.99 a month, and you can just play what you want out of it and then cancel or something, you know. I think we talked about this previously, or we had that one week where this came up in the news and we had just so much news backed up that I don't think I ever got to it, but EA canceled Anthem. They had like this Anthem had like this like proving period to where like if their content update could bring the players back and they could prove that there was a reason to really keep the servers up, then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll keep Anthem going. And they didn't. So Anthem got canceled. And BioWare is focusing on the next Dragon Age, which could be good or bad. I'm gonna lean more towards bad. I'm not the most optimistic when it comes to BioWare today. BioWare...
No, definitely not. Like, BioWare hasn't really been good since Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age.
I thought Inquisition was pretty good.
Maybe Mass Effect 3, if you want to discount the absolute shit ending.
Yeah, I don't think we can base Mass Effect 3 sucking on the ending entirely. So, I mean, like 90% of the game was solid from what I heard. So, I mean, that and Inquisition was pretty good, albeit the writing was pretty awful, in my opinion.
I've heard mixed things about Inquisition.
But I thought Inquisition, coming out of Dragon Age 2, Inquisition was a step back in the right direction.
No,
but the story continued to make no sense where they were going with it. Like, in comparison to where you start on 1, and you start in, like, the Awakening DLC of 1, and then you get to 2, and you're like, why are we here? And then you get to 3 and you're like, it's follow-up. It's kind of a follow-up from what happened in 2. And they were trying to just make up for the mistakes of 2. So, Dragon Age, whatever they're going to title this 4, I don't know. But, I hate how things are just like, Dragon Age 1, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. They just can't decide if they want a number or a subtitle or something.
Dragon Age Revelation.
Yeah,
Dragon Age Assassin's Creed subtitle.
Yeah,
they're just gonna call it Dragon Age.
The Dragon Age.
That's the reboot name. Yeah.
They might as well reboot it at this point. Honestly, I would be fine with that. But yeah, so I don't know if it'll be good or not. They lost so much of the team during the Mass Effect Andromeda era and the Anthem era, and like I don't know if the core BioWare teams how many are really there anymore. You could tell how disjointed the team was in Andromeda, and I didn't even touch Anthem because I knew that was kind of going to be a shit show. Anything trying to compete with Destiny, which I also don't like, is probably going to be a shit show. So, that, and you just kind of expected it, EA to not really put out quality content sometimes. That was around the same time the Battlefront 2 outrage was coming too, so I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll touch Anthem. Oh yeah. You want to talk about the Blizzard CEO, Nick? CEO?
Oh gosh, I heard about this. Like, if both things didn't happen on the same day, it wouldn't have been as big of a news story, but Blizzard like fired 200 employees. At first it was like, oh no, it's only 50 that are being let go, and they're getting these severance packages and stuff like that. But and they're all just from the esports department or something, and esports isn't the biggest thing right now with COVID and everything. But it turns out it was more than just 50. It was closer to 200. And on that same day, their billionaire CEO Bobby Kotick, he just happened to just pocket a extra $200 million bonus on top of his already $1 million plus whatever salary. And it's just like, I don't know. Game development is already like a very difficult profession under crunch and all this time crunch and stuff, and then to just be like just let go for like no reason, or like, oh, we're merging with a different company or something, we don't have any more positions for you, but then to find out that same day that like your CEO took like not a severance package, but just like a bonus to his paycheck, that like each of you could have gotten like $1 million severance package and he would have been just fine. Like, this is like money above and beyond like what he already makes. It's just I'm not a big Blizzard fan as is, and just finding out about stuff like this and everything else, it's just can't deal with it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what really led to the mass layoff. I would I mean, it's not really something for me to weigh on, but I assume that the Overwatch esports scene hasn't really taken off as they expected over the past couple of years. I know, initially there was the whole hype with Overwatch and the esports scene of it, and then once that dies down, I don't think it had the staying power as stuff like CS or
I see people right now like Valorant's like the new rage.
Yeah, Valorant or
League. Grand Theft Auto 5. I see people playing Grand Theft Auto 5 again these days. I think
but esports, do they? I don't think they do Grand Theft Auto 5 esports. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely still an esports scene for Overwatch, but I think that's part of the reason why that's probably part of the reason why Activision's pushing for them to make an Overwatch 2, is that people want that recency bias towards it.
I don't know if even XQC wants to like jump on that trend again. Like, cause he got popular off of Overwatch, and like he gets, man, I had no idea until I started following him how many people he gets watching his streams. He has like 10 times more than anybody. Like any like he has like 246K people watching him like every fucking day. I'm like, wow.
Oh my god.
What did he do? How good were his Overwatch skills? And of course, people watch him because he's so hilariously stupid that that people just want to watch him fuck up. But it's like, how big were his Overwatch skills to be that popular? But yeah, I don't even know if he wants to go into Overwatch 2 anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Activision's always had that kind of mentality, it seems, with their developers. It's like, oh yeah, even if the game has staying power, or or has could just keep going via content updates, they're like, oh no, we need a new game. And so they did that with Destiny, they're doing that now with Overwatch. What are some other games they did that with? Well, obviously the Call of Duty games, but if you count that. But yeah, that's how companies like that work. Honestly, Activision in the past few years has really competed with EA for being one of the worst publishers.
Yeah.
So I was looking into it some more, and so yeah, back in 2019, you may remember. I mean, I forgot, but Activision Blizzard laid off more than 800 people, following a record year of record sales, and it's like that was even before the pandemic and everything.
And of course, Activision and the stupid microtransactions. Were they the ones responsible for Crash Team Racing getting microtransactions?
They would have to be, because they own the property.
Okay.
Or they own the IP.
Yeah, fuck you, Activision. I'm surprised they haven't put microtransactions in Sekiro yet.
Yeah, I forgot they published Sekiro. It's surprising.
Don't worry, they got each of these people laid off recently. They got a $200 gift card to Blizzard's PC Battle.net. Like, I feel like that would just be the biggest slap in the face. Like, if I got fired from my job and they're like, "Oh, here's a $200 like coupon for the gift shop," like,
I get them a severance. I get them a severance package too for 90 days, but on top of the gift card though, that was kind of like the gift card was the peak, and the severance package was like, oh, I guess I'll take it.
Like, whatever. Okay, they get dental and stuff for more months.
It's kind of like,
I don't know, that to me that gift card
overshadowed by the gift card, kind of. But yeah, that's enough shitting on Blizzard.
Anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
So the last story I got would really be one more that Jamar would know more about, because he's like professional.
Yeah, Jamar, what do you got to say?
Fighting tournaments. Got him on the call here, unfortunately.
Just put a picture of his car up, just like a still image in the bottom right.
Need to get a picture. But like, so basically, Evo, you may have heard, was purchased by Sony Interactive. So that's gonna be interesting, because like the biggest event always, like it cycles through whatever popular fighting games are most popular there at these tournaments. But the biggest event has always been Smash Bros, and also somehow Smash Bros Melee. But like with this being owned by a competitor of Nintendo now, Sony Interactive, it's unknown if Smash Bros. Will be there.
I mean,
so
or Sony even wants to try to make another Smash Bros. Clone because when you guys remember PlayStation All Stars?
I was going to say there's a higher likely chance that PlayStation All Stars will be at Evo this year instead of.
I love to play as a bunch of white dudes.
Competitive, competing fighting game tournaments. That's what we're going towards. Like, we're gonna have a Nintendo one. We're gonna have an Xbox one. I don't think Nintendo will ever do their own fighting game tournament. They'd rather do like the Smash Bros. International at every Best Buy near you or some shit like that. Or
it definitely feels like Nintendo is just trying to distance themselves from anything competitive. Like we find out too, so the Pokemon, the big Arceus game, isn't even going to have like online. You won't even be able to trade and battle and stuff. I think I mentioned that last time, but yeah, they're really like, besides Sakurai himself, that's like actually like interested in like frame data and like making the game, like having all these patches and stuff. Like the rest of Nintendo, they're just trying to get more like as casual can be, like that type of corner market. The grandma's playing Wii Sports in the retirement home. It feels like
it's all about that Ring Fit now, though.
Yes.
See. Yeah. I actually do have Ring Fit. I do.
I gotta get back to my Ring Fit. I gotta level up.
Yeah, I haven't played much of it, honestly.
It's pretty. Like it tires me out.
When does it end? Like
it kind of tires me out quite a bit, to be honest.
Well, it is.
I can only do like I do like a couple levels, and I'm like, shit, man.
I'm preparing for a real life fighting game, so
yeah.
No, man, that is no way to prepare for real life.
Worst are like the for me, like the worst is like the overhead squeezes in. Like, oh my god, like your forearm ones. Oh my god, those are awful.
Target like some very specific muscles.
Yeah.
Like some of these stretches, it's like what?
I don't know what their goal is. It's like they're trying to work me out or something. But
yeah, we'll see. Like Nintendo just compared to again, like every other fighting game that's been at these tournaments, Nintendo has like the worst online netcode, and so in a year where like all the games, it seems like Evo this year will be Evo online. It won't be an in-person event, at least for this year. And like professional Smash players, which again I'm a bit
let's all mourn Zero's loss and just move on.
But like they're all saying like, no, we don't want to play Smash Bros online because like compared to all the other games like the netcode and stuff, we talked about them upgrading it to this other NTSC or something, but like even that it's not there yet, and it's like these games require like split-second like frame data, all this stuff, and when you have like lag, to the extent even when I've tried playing online, it sucks so much.
Yeah. Well,
so
all right. Well, there's actually one more thing I want to talk about because this just came in really recently, within like the last hour or so.
Well, we gotta get it in.
I'm not gonna go too big into it because there's still news developing on it. But Game Grumps is getting canceled right now. Yeah, there's some disgusting stuff going around regarding Dan from Ninja Sex Party. And I'm not going to go too deep into this because it is still a developing situation, but I have not verified anything myself, but yeah, Dan is getting canceled right now for being involved with his underage fans apparently. And I'm like, uh-oh.
I called it. I didn't actually call it. I was talking about this earlier, but no, I had no idea it would happen to the Game Grumps. I'm grumpy.
I mean, Aaron gets into controversies all the time, but yeah, the stuff with Dan is like, well, I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, so, to any fans of the Game Grumps fans, because I know there are a few among us around here. Just try to go into this with a rational mind, and that's all I'm going to say because I have not verified anything.
Well, it's a good thing.
He was getting canceled while we were doing the podcast recording. Like this happened just like an hour or so ago.
Well, it's a good thing John left and he's got a clean slate, right?
Yes, exactly. People have been making jokes about how John Tron was like, yeah, I fucked off long ago, man, and I'm just watching the shipwreck on my lifeboat with these binoculars. I also haven't uploaded a video in almost a year now, but to be fair, what's new with me? I always take breaks.
That's true.
I feel like he's got all that flex tape money, though. I mean,
he made a lot of flex tape money.
And like, I get it. Okay, you get like rich and popular, and you get all these fans and all these people messaging you, and it goes.
I mean, to be fair, Dan's band is called Ninja Sex Party, and I know he gets laid due to that position.
That could definitely lead to these things happening.
Well,
yeah, Aaron himself, like I don't see him like doing that himself. He's just more stupid. But
I think it's for people that I have a good point perhaps. For people that are like maybe even like us that are spending a lot of time playing video games, and then one day you get really good at playing video games and you become the top Smash Bros tournament player, and or you get a super popular YouTube channel or something, and then you go from like no fame to like the top of the world, and it can be overwhelming. I of course am not excusing behavior by these people that definitely did some really awful things, but like if you don't watch yourself, if you get caught up in your own ego and you get
own ego.
Oh yes, me when I thought I was getting popular as a blogger.
Oh no.
And boy did that backfire.
It can happen.
I didn't do anything illegal. Just stupid.
No, I mean, even Nick backstory, in high school, I was in student council, and I certainly, I didn't do anything illegal, but like I definitely was in the popular group. I definitely had all this stuff like going on, and I can definitely see like I could have got away with stuff. That's not what I mean to say, but like I can see that the temptation was there to like exploit your popularity, exploit your influence as an influencer. Yeah, I hate that term, but
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
oh, by the way, yes, I know Jay Schlatt is also getting canceled on Twitter, but I looked up the reason for that, and it's fucking stupid. So I'm not gonna dwell on it. Okay.
Well, I mean, if there's anything to take away from this episode is stay off Twitter, and use your power wisely. Use your power wisely. But all right, y'all.
Power comes with great responsibility.
That's pretty much all we've got for this episode. Does anybody want to plug some damn events coming up? Like
you're hosting the Interstellar thing
if you watch this 2-hour podcast in less than an hour and 40 minutes, we have Interstellar 5555 watch party coming up. Hopefully you can make it. It will be fun. There will be no snacks, but you can bring your own.
Yesterday on Saturday, but our schedules it's getting busy to.
Yeah, and then next week is the March anime discussion for the Misfit King or the Misfit of Demon King Academy.
That one. I was like, really, the one about the overpowered protagonist being being overpowered. We're going with that.
Like that many. I think the only other suggestion was mine. That was like, it was a niche show.
Is this the sequel to Demon King Daima?
No, it's not a sequel to Demon King Daima. No, it's this isekai, or at least reincarnation story. Because the guy died, they reincarnated as this overpowered dude who just like fucking like it slaughters people and then laughs about it. Like, I did not watch past the first episode, so I can't really say much more than that. But
yeah, I'll have to see how the Demon King Academy is, or Misfit Demon King Academy.
And then we have
what's up? Show is like very niche, like World War One. If you like that and you like anime, you would have liked it, but that's not a very big Venn diagram. I understand. So.
Okay.
And we have the Loop of the Third watch party. Hosted by Justin.
Loop on the Third watch party on the second week of third week of April. So
April
it's gonna be
17th.
a while before we get to that.
Yeah, so I would throw it out there because we are not the most on schedule.
That's
all right.
true, but all right.
We're fairly on schedule. It's just there's not a lot of news. I blame the news, not us.
The news sucks.
gotta make more news. Yep. Then we'll have more podcasts. That's how it goes.
More people need to get canceled. We need more gossip and all that good stuff. All those employee layoffs and all that good stuff.
Exactly what we need.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully we get more actually good news coming up. But it's gonna be a slow year. It's a slow year. We're in the
talk about the end of the winter anime season.
It's gonna be a slow 2021 year for games and anime and everything. Still in the COVID recovery.
There's not a lot of anime that people enjoyed in winter 2021, so we'll see.
Yeah, but all right, y'all.
Right.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye.